It's your boy AD back with another video. Now in today's video we're gonna be doing with Naruto was the leader of the Ten Commandments, part 5 I believe. So yeah, anyways, get this video 45 like for the next part, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of this one. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get the video started. So yeah, anyways, we started off with the basically in the council room of the Hokage office, as we see Hayashi says, let's get this meeting started, as Minato says yes, and then he says Danzo, basically he says Danzo, go ahead, as then Danzo basically just like moves his fingers and shit, and basically Ambu came into the room as he was kneeling down, as then Danzo says report, as the Ambu says in the month of training I have been ordered by Lord Danzo and Lord Hokage to basically freaking follow Naruto one and shit like that, and I have learned that Naruto-sama is dating Miss Melaskira and Dayeri, and Esterosa is actually not his older brother, but actually his younger brother, as they thought that Naruto was the younger one. So yeah, and Naruto, or Meliodas as he calls himself, is actually the older brother of Esterosa, and Esterosa is the middle child. And there's another brother, but I don't know who it is or what it looks like or anything about him. As basically, he doesn't really know anything about the other brother being Zeldris. And then he says that was all the information I was able to get on basically them, as he would disappear into leaves or whatever. Like basically, he would use a leaf sunscreen to basically disappear, as like some leaf will fall on the ground. So yeah. Anyways, basically, yeah. As then Shikamaru basically, no, Shikaku. Basically, Shikamaru's brother. I mean, that, my bad. Sorry. He would say, how is it possible? As then, how is it possible that Naruto is older than Esterosa? He looks and is only 14 years old. So how old is pretty much how old is Esterosa? It can't be possible. Esterosa isn't like younger than, can't be younger than 14. And Minato would say, I can confirm that Naruto was born on October 10th, like the 10th of October, 14 years ago. So yeah, basically he can prove that Naruto is quote unquote 14, but we all know he's like 300 years old. But yeah, as then they heard the chuckling, as they look around to see Esterosa just basically chilling, kind of like just like pretty much relaxing, kind of like this. He's basically just chilling on the couch. As then Minato would basically put out a kunai, saying, what are you doing? What are you doing here? As Esterosa would say, oh, nothing much. I was just taking a nap. But I heard you guys talking about Big Bro. Now Meliodas, so with a happy tone on his voice. So I then also basically say, how did you get in here? With his typical emotionless voice, as Esterosa says, that was pretty easy. I just walked in, and that was pretty much it. It's basically, Esterosa would look at Hiyashi and says, by the way, your plan of putting your stupid cage bird seal, your slave seal, whatever, will not be able to you will not be able to basically get close enough to use it on basically, like, you won't be able to get close enough to use it on Meliodas/Naruto, as basically Estosa would, I mean, not Estosa, he actually would get mad and say, "How dare you?" Or you're assuming that I can't beat a stupid little brat. As Estosa's expression would change from happy and would turn to pure anger, as then Estosa says, "How dare you, you little pathetic human." Oh my. So yeah, sorry about that. I got a little interrupted, but yeah. Anyways, basically he says, "How dare you, you pathetic human? You think you're so high and mighty?" As then he basically walked up to Yashi and had a lot of darkness surrounding, like, around his hand. As basically he would then basically it was from like a blade, I guess you can say, kind of like how Goku Black uses his ki to make like a black keyblade, kind of like that. As basically he was about to slash Yasti, but Naruto appeared in the room and stopped him. As then Estosa went back to his regular self. As then Naruto says it's time to go. As Estosa would nod and they disappear into darkness. As before they left, Naruto says, "I'm not 14, just so you know." As then they basically would disappear into the darkness and whatnot. As do appear into the fighting arena thingy, like the stadium. As then Estosa went up to the stands, just like where Kakashi usually was, like, but like not next to him, just on the corner by himself, just to relax. So yeah, but not exactly by himself actually. I meant with like Daria and Estosa, but like Daria was like basically just like kind of sleeping at this point, so she wasn't annoying him or anything, and Meraskila is just like looking at stuff but not really talking. As Naruto and Neji were getting ready to fight, as Neji would say a whole Destiny speech about how Destiny is on my side, I'll always win and crap like that. But Naruto would basically get pretty bored and tired of his talking halfway through, as he would just basically tell him to shut up. As then Naruto would basically vanish and appear behind him, and Neji would appear behind Neji. Like Neji would do a rotation, as Naruto would see the spear of chakra and jump back. As Neji would say, "That's right, demon, you can't touch me. I have the ultimate defense," with a cocky smirk on his face. As then Naruto would basically burst out laughing, just like a light did before dying from Death Note. If you've seen that, as Naruto would basically come out of it, basically Naruto would stop after a little while, as then he would basically walk to Neji and raise his hand, as Neji would basically do another rotation, but Naruto would simply go down, like basically slash down, and basically Neji would fall down with a giant gash on his chest, as Naruto would use some of his darkness to basically go to the rotation fairly easily. As Naruto would basically be declared the winner, and Neji would get taken to the hospital, as Hiyashi would basically be pissed off, and we see Minato getting a little scared to see how Naruto beat Neji so easily, and could have killed him if he wanted to, basically. Then we skip to the next match, as the proctor was about to begin, but was interrupted by the Hokage, saying this year's student exam will be a special. There will be a fight between 3 teams, a big battle royale that the contestants, like pretty much the people participating in it, will be the team of Naruto, which is Naruto, Meraskila, a.dTHEweeb versus Mema, Mito, Sasuke versus Gaara, Tomaru, and Shikamaru. As then Gaara would use his sand to go down. You know how he basically used the symmetry and whatever. As then Tomaru would use her fan, with Shikamaru basically holding on to the back of it. And Sasuke, Mema, and Mito would all use simple leaf sunscreen, and Naoto, Meraskila, and Dayori would simply fly down, as then all of them would lay on the ground. As in the proctor would say stop, as he would jump away, knowing that this is not a regular gaining fight. As then Mema would say to basically Naoto's team, no, not Naoto's team, to like his team, Mito and Sasuke and him, to basically let's take out the demon and its team so we can then take out the sand brats, as God would basically be setting some sand on the ground and not really responding to Mema, due to basically Shikaku basically telling him things to do and shit like that. So yeah. As then Mema would basically wash out Naruto and his team, as he did a 5-star fireball jutsu, and Shikamaru used his shadow paralysis jutsu to try to make Naruto not be able to move out of the way, basically to basically dodge the fireball, as it worked. But when the fire hit Naruto, it did absolutely nothing, due to Naruto being basically a demon. But then Naruto would basically smirk, as then the darkness came out from Naruto, going into Shikamaru's shadow, destroying it, freeing Naruto, and making Shikamaru lose a bit of chakra. As then Naruto jumped up, as the darkness would envelop his arm, making a giant axe, as basically a giant axe of darkness, as then he would slash down, as it makes 10 giant gashes on the ground, destroying like the arena and spreading everyone out. And basically, if you watch some of the descents, if you've seen that one scene when Naruto like came out from the goddess ember and he used that giant axe thing, that's basically what happened. As the ninja had to put some chakra in their feet, and like people pretty much like Team 7 and Team Ga had to put chakra on their feet, so they didn't get sent flying away. And Miraskura and Dario just floated, as then Dario would basically dash to Tamari, as she would basically swing, like Tamari would basically swing her fan to send Dario flying, but she would easily break to the wind, and basically Tamari would get basically punched into the stomach, sending her flying, hitting the stadium wall, as then Dario would appear in front of her and punch her again, making her break to the making her break to the walls, like literally going out of the stadium, and basically making her disqualified by knocking her out. As then Shikamaru would basically use the shadow paralysis on, and making his shadow basically stopping her from moving for a little bit, I guess. And then he would basically make the spike things and pierce it like 10 giant spikes and basically stab the Ayeri. And Shikamaru would basically say give up and you may survive. And by the way, Diary and Monspit, they still have the 7 hearts. They didn't use the transformation thing yet. They won't use it actually. So yeah, Diary basically ignored Shikamaru's warnings and simply started to walk, as her skin got shredded apart. But then to everyone's surprise, they basically go back within seconds, shocking the crowd, as then Diary would basically dash to Shikamaru. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, basically she would dash to Shikamaru, and then Shikamaru got punched into the ground, breaking some bones, putting him into a coma. As then Dario basically says, well, my job is done, as she would basically lay on the ground, starting to relax but not sleeping. As then Naruto would basically walk to Mema and Mito and Sasuke, who basically had regrouped together, like basically gone back together. Uh, that's kind of annoying because I just did the whole thing, but I accidentally pressed uh the sounding recording and shit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do it again. Basically, Naruto walk up to Mema and Mito and Sasuke, who were basically we group together. And Sasuke says, "How dare you stand up to a great Uchiha like me?" As then Sasuke and Mema did the same hand sign saying faster fireball jutsu as Mito did a wind style with Galpalm, as then a big fireball was coming towards Naruto, as Naruto didn't even move out the way as he simply walked to the fire, as then Naruto looked at them disappointedly, as then he says, did you really think a fire jutsu would work against me, the son of the Demon King?" As Naruto dashes at them, as then he disappears and appears behind them, as he would say 1,000 different cuts, as black flames would appear from Mema and Mito's and Sasuke's back, as they will basically start screaming as they will fall to the ground with cuts and gashes on their backs, as their flesh will be destroyed and burning, as now then Naruto turned, and as Mema and Mito and Sasuke was on the ground screaming in pain, as Meraskina just floated over to them, as Naruto says, "Wow, looks like basically the old powerful son and daughter of the fourth Hokage in the last of the Uchiha." Did I kill the Uchiha clan off? I can't remember. Yeah, the last of the Uchiha clan, I think. Basically, how pathetic you are, basically. As then Mema got mad and did was singing, throwing himself at Naruto, but as soon as it got in close to Naruto, it was absorbed by darkness, shocking Mema and the others, as he would fall to the ground. Then his hand would caught on fire, not regular fire but black flames, as his fingers got burned, but not really, not totally, but just like the skin and flesh, not the bones or anything like that, as he can go back, I guess. Anyways, keep getting interrupted for some freaking reason, but yeah, it's really getting annoying now. Anyways, basically, he got burned and stuff like that, and yeah, as then Mito says, "How dare you, demon, I will kill you," but before she got a chance to continue, she was interrupted by Meraskara shutting out some darkness. Yeah, like there's like a little darkness thing always floating on Meraskara. Yeah, she uses that to basically put it into Mito's mouth, as it basically entered Mito's body, going down into his stomach. As we skip to Mito's mindscape, Mito woke up to see her in her mind. As she looked around to see the Nine Tails like normal until the darkness came from the ground, as basically it would shot at Mito, covering her whole body except for her head. As I keep getting interrupted, so that's pretty annoying. I keep doing this thing like 10 times right now. But yeah, basically the darkness came on Mito and surrounded her and shit, and then basically she got trapped, couldn't move except for her head. And the same thing happened to the Nine Tails, but like his whole body, even the head. As then the darkness disappears, then Mito was free after the darkness disappeared with the fox. As basically we skip back to the real world. Freaking the seal appeared on Mito's stomach, as then it went all black. And instead of it just being the seal, like the whole stomach was dark and shit. As then we basically the darkness came out of Mito's mouth, as then the seal would disappear, as she would fall on the ground unconscious, as she had lost all of her Nine Tails except for that she survived somehow. As the same thing happened to Mema, as then Kushina would drop from the stadium thingy, as basically they would say fuck, god dang it, oh my gosh, bro. As then Miyato and Kushina would basically drop from the stadium thingy, as they want to remember Mito saying, what have you done? But then Naruto basically just laugh as the darkness wrapped itself around Gaara, who didn't move because he was getting orders from Shikaku telling him to basically just chill out, wait, because he's playing something to basically free himself. As then Gaara's ultimate defense didn't really protect him that well from Naruto's darkness, as the darkness will basically wrap itself around the sand and Gaara during a sand prison, like a sand, not a sand prison, a cocoon of darkness, my bad. And basically, if you don't know what it is, it's basically like a giant egg, I guess, of darkness, and basically you get trapped inside, and you lose power if the person that made it wants you to. So yeah, basically, Naruto sucked away Gaara's chakra, knocking him out, and the Shikaku came out with the whole Shikaku came out of Gaara because he was unconscious. So yeah, as it was like the full Shikaku immediately as then Orochimaru came down into the destroyed stadium, as then the sound folded the barrier around them, as Naruto smirk as 8 dark flashes that appear behind Naruto, revealing Zeldris, Joe, Speed, Gloxinia, Garland, Greywood, Esterosa, and Gopher, the original Gopher being this guy right here. So yeah, all of them would basically appear behind Naruto, and the only one that's in the picture that isn't appearing is this guy because he's basically got replaced by Gopher. Well, he never got replaced by Gopher actually. Whatever. He was never in the commandment because Gopher never died or whatnot. As they basically were all basically holding something like someone inside of a cocoon of darkness as well, as basically they all just like smirk evilly and release a lot of darkness. But this is my show. I'm driving off. Hope you guys liked and enjoy. Get this video 45 like for next one, and yeah, sorry about getting into up to like a million freaking time. But yeah, anyway, so for you, I'm gonna be off for now. Peace.